When I was in Japan, I began thinking deeply about our reality. About the things we choose to remember, the things we choose to believe, and what makes something real. That video wasn't real. It was made with Unreal Engine, a 3D video creation tool that makes photorealistic environments. You've probably seen it in a bunch of video games that are coming out, and even huge TV series like Apple TV's The Foundation. In this video, I'm going to cover how deepfakes are made, how they're being detected, and what you can do to fight against them. Let's get into it.
The investigation is ongoing, and it's a reminder that cyber threats are an urgent and growing danger.
I mean, I used to have to get a search warrant to look inside your house, or I can just log onto your Facebook and you've got pictures of all inside your house and what's going on.
We've launched a 100-day initiative to improve cybersecurity across the electric sector.
They're worried about the Popular app's ties to the Chinese government.
In 2019, a video of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi went viral, where it appeared she was slurring her words.
We want to give this president the opportunity to do something historic for our country. We want to give this president the opportunity to do something historic for our country.
This was stamped with the seal of approval when Rudy Giuliani and President Trump decided to tweet their own commentary about it. Now, this video was a crude deepfake, but it was convincing enough to garner millions of views and convince the American public that the person who was third in line for the presidency was having a stroke. And that was just in 2019. Fast forward to now, we have very advanced scams like voice cloning and even FaceTime cloning, where people are pretending to be your loved ones.
I said, what's wrong, what's wrong? She goes, I've had an accident and I need your help.
His daughter panicked and crying before another voice gets on the line.
He goes, I'm wanting to give your daughter back to you, but I need some cash. When I first heard my daughter's voice, I mean, it was my daughter's voice. It convinced me that that was her.
Calls like this have the Federal Trade Commission sounding the alarm this month, warning of advancing artificial intelligence used to simulate someone's voice in imposter scams, the most commonly reported fraud in 2022, with losses jumping to $2.6 billion last year.
So there are a lot of great videos out there that talk about the science of deepfakes and how they're really made, but basically you have two algorithms. You have a generator and a discriminator. The generator generates the image and it discriminates it against the source image. And what's really interesting about it is that it will just keep sending it back to the discriminator and say, nope, not good enough, not good enough. It's like the worst boss you've ever had. And it will keep looping and looping and looping until it fools the discriminator. That's the wildest concept. This is done using a generative adversarial network, also known as a GAN, and it's a machine learning framework that is really incredible. Basically, all you need is a really good graphics card and a powerful enough computer, and you can make pretty interesting stuff. Just look at these photos. None of those women are real. So what's being done to combat against these deepfakes? Well, the most promising thing I've seen is what Intel's doing with their new technology called Fake Catcher.
Deepfake videos are everywhere now. You have probably already seen them.
Fortunately, Intel is developing several solutions to detect deepfakes in real time.
Like the one you are seeing right now. Because you're not the real İlke Demir. I am.
Alright, you got me.
It effectively scans the blood in our face and detects if we're a real human or if the footage has been altered. Now, DARPA, the research arm of the Department of Defense with an unlimited budget, you know, the guys that made those robotic dogs. I don't know why there's so much content about accepting these robot dogs as cute and fun. They're terrifying and they're nightmare fuel. Sorry, I got a little sidetracked. There was an announcement in 2018 about them developing some sort of technology to have an end-to-end platform that detects these deepfakes, and really nothing has been announced since. I doubt they gave up on that, but I'm sure that the people over at the Pentagon are looking into it. But where I'm seeing the most advancements right now is, of course, in the private sector. That's where all the talent is going, that's where all the money is, that's where all the venture capital seed money is going. But in researching this, I was thinking, yeah, that's great if you're able to detect the deepfake, but that means the deepfake was made. The damage has been done. Now, is there anything that is being developed that maybe can stop that before it happens? Turns out there is. There are a couple of research papers that have been floating around out there talking about smart watermarks and how they could be added onto all the media we have, and that if that piece of media has that invisible watermark, it will blur out while being discriminated against by the generator deepfake algorithm. Follow? The way I picture it is it's kind of like a dye pack in a bank robber's satchel. The money is tainted, it can't be used. Now, what I hope to see is not only the proliferation of that, but I would love to see it be retroactively added to all of the media that's out there. Not just the Hollywood blockbusters and all that stuff, but I'm talking about all this stuff on our social media. In fact, in my opinion, I think that it's in the best interest of Meta and all the other social media companies to retroactively protect the content that's out there. Think about the reputational damage Meta stands to face when these deepfakes get more and more out of control, manipulating people using images of their kids or of their old parents. The possibilities are endless. And this led me to look into if there's anything being done on the hardware front. Now, camera company Leica, that makes the most beautiful cameras in the world, has released a really interesting new camera. It's $10,000, so I don't think I'll be getting it anytime soon, but it's called the M11P. And it's the first to employ content credentials to the image at the time of capture. Now, content credentials are a part of the Content Authenticity Initiative, which effectively puts in tamper-evident metadata, what I was talking about before. They're trying to be the place of record for media. You can drag an image in and check if it has been altered. Now, chip manufacturer Qualcomm has announced this with their latest chip, the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3. It will be able to add this tamper-evident metadata into the images at time of capture. Same goes for video, and same goes for the AI content that is created on the phone, because a lot of things like Magic Eraser that Google has can alter the image, but that's still your image. So it's very encouraging to see that there are steps being taken to combat deepfakes, but I think we still have a long way to go given the power of the technology. With the Digital Resilience Project, I'm offering information as neutrally as possible with actionable advice. I feel too much of the mainstream news and just a lot of people like to harp on the negatives of technology and how dangerous AI is, but I actually think we are living in such an exciting time and that there's not enough optimistic stories out there. Hence why if I can give you actionable advice, it will make tech work in your favor as opposed to being stuck in a fear loop that the media always tries to get you in. So here are a couple steps. 1, be mindful about the things you post on social media. Just give it a second thought. Everything that's out there can be used by nefarious actors and is training data for big tech. I would also say back up all your media onto an air-gapped hard drive, an external hard drive that's not connected to your computer. It's a way to keep the originals in a safe and secure location. I would recommend looking into the Content Authenticity Initiative. That seems like they're doing really cool stuff. And I'm completely biased because I did just put in an application there. Next would be consider talking to your friends and family about having an identity confirmation password. Don't use your mom or your wife's maiden name, everybody knows that, but something more like, do you hate sriracha, or where was the, our favorite bar when we were first dating? Just things that would make a scammer trip up. It's useful to have because you never know when you're gonna get that scam call. And then finally, the most important thing you could do is subscribe and look out for more videos that are coming out every week, and check out all the other media we put out there on drp.foundation. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.